Hello, sports fans, and welcome to another edition of Scott Sports 101. I'm Scott Trella. After a 25-point loss in Game 1 and a 14-point loss in Game 2, the Cavs had a 30-point win in Game 3, beating the Boston Celtics 116-86. The Cavs played a much better game last night at the Q. LeBron had 29 points and had 29 points, and the Cavs had 6 other players in double figures. I thought the Cavs scored points a lot better in the paint, and the Cavs were much more aggressive as well. The Cavs knew what they had to do in Game 3, and they came out with a lot of momentum, and I hope they can keep that momentum going in Game 4. Before I continue on with the Cavs, here is today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. Who was the first NBA player in NBA history to be elected league MVP by a unanimous vote? Is it A, LeBron James, B, Magic Johnson, C, Michael Jordan, or D, Stephen Curry? I'll have the answer later in the show. Knew what they had, and the Cavs knew what. And I hope the Cavs can keep the momentum going tomorrow night in Game 4 here at the Q. And hopefully they can tie it up. And I know that they will do just that tomorrow night. And they never gave up, and they never let up on Boston. The Cavs kept the momentum going throughout the entire game. J.R. Smith really stepped it up in the game last night. After not scoring at all in the last 2 games, Smith came off the bench, really scored well in the paint and from three-point range as well. I thought Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance Jr. also played really well. The Cavs are now, with that win, the Cavs are down 2-1 in the Eastern Conference Final. Game 4 is another must-win for the Cavs tomorrow night, and they don't want to go back down to Boston, down 3-1. Excuse me. I felt that the Cavs really played much better last night, and they also had 5 guys that shot 3-pointers last night, which I thought was awesome last night. Way to go, boys! And they need to really keep the momentum going. Don't let Boston have a chance to get back in the game. You got to take Game 4 and tie it up tomorrow night, because you don't want to go back down, and you don't want to be down 3-1. So hopefully they're going to do just that and take Game 4, and I feel they're going to take Game 5 in Boston, and that would be a good thing to do because they have not beaten Boston at home all season. So, and it would be a first for the Cavs to beat Boston at home this season and in the postseason. So if they can take Game 5, which I think they will do on Wednesday, and which I do believe they will do on Wednesday, then they should come back here on Friday and end it in Game 6 and hopefully take the series. Because I don't want Game 7, because we don't do well when we have to play Game 7. So, that being said, hopefully they can really keep this going and not let up. They really got to be aggressive. They've got to come out and from the get-go and just really jump on Boston like they did last night in Game 3. Now, Mike Fratello said on the post-game show last night, if we have somebody else to really help out scoring-wise, help LeBron out scoring-wise, and take the responsibility to help out, then LeBron would not have to really work really hard to score. And I agree with what Mike Fratello said. We need another player to really help out LeBron. So, with the Cavs having the 8th pick in the draft, I hope they can really get somebody good who's a hit. And also, Campbell Russell and Austin Carr said that same thing. You've got to take Game 5 in Boston. And I agree with both of them, Campbell Russell and Austin Carr. And Tristan Thompson, I also felt played well. He really scored well off the bench. I think he had about 7-8 points off the bench, something like, I say 9 points, excuse me. And I thought Tristan Thompson really played a great game last night. He really did well. And they really were aggressive. They scored in the paint, and it just was an old-fashioned blowout, to say the least. And I just felt the Cavs, they did not let up. They kept it going throughout the entire game. So they had a good-sized lead at halftime, and they maintained it throughout the third and fourth quarters. So, that being said, I'm still going. My prediction is still Cavs in 6. I believe we will take Game 4 tomorrow night and tie it up. Excuse me. And we will take Game 5 on Wednesday in Boston, and then come back here and end it in Game 6 on Friday. I do believe. So, I do believe that we will be back in the NBA Finals. I'm confident that we will. And the Warriors, the Western Conference Final between the Rockets and Warriors, the Warriors are now up 2-1 because they beat the Houston Rockets in Game 3 today, 126-85. The Warriors just dominated this game from the get-go. But Stephen Curry and Kevin Durant and Draymond Green all had 35 points in that game, and Andre Iguodala had 10. And all they have 4 players in double figures, and most of the players were in single figures. But hey, this was another old-fashioned blowout, to say the least. The Houston Rockets just did not come out. I don't think came out ready to play. They just tried to score so many 3-pointers, and they just did not look good. They just kept not. They had trouble scoring. They just let Golden State get back into the game, and Golden State just took it from there. And for the Rockets now, Game 4 is a must-win for them. And I still feel that the Golden State Warriors have the edge in this series. So with the Western Conference Final, I am going to say Warriors in 6. So, that being said, I do believe that for the 4th year in a row, it will be Cavs and the Warriors. Although I would like for something different to see Cavs and the Rockets, but I do believe it's going to be Cavs and the Warriors again. But we will see. It's going to be a few games more yet before the NBA Finals is set. So, that being said, I want to say that they really have that both series are really tight now. It's a really tight series between both teams because the Boston's up 2-1 on the Cavs, and the Warriors are up 2-1 on the Houston Rockets. And I do believe the Cavs are going to come back, are going to tie it up. I mean, tomorrow night. But keep this in mind: no team has ever come back. The Cavs have come back from a 3-1 deficit to win this series, and I believe that they're going to win this series because they will take the next 3 games. Now, for the Rockets and the Warriors, the Rockets, I think they will tie it up, but I still feel the Warriors have the edge. I think the Warriors will take Game 5 and Game 6. But you never know what's going to happen. Anything can happen. So let's see what happens in these series. And Game 4 for the Warriors and Rockets is Tuesday on TNT at 8:30. And Game 4 for the Cavs and the Celtics is tomorrow at 8:30 on ESPN. And it is now time for the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 trivia question. And I'll say it again. Who was the first NBA player in history, the first player in NBA history, to be elected league MVP by a unanimous vote? A, LeBron James, B, Magic Johnson, C, Michael Jordan, or D, Stephen Curry? If you said D, Stephen Curry, you are correct. Stephen Curry in 2016 scored 402 3-pointers and led a league series in point scoring and was named MVP by a unanimous vote in the league in 2016. And if you said D, Stephen Curry, you are correct. And we'll have another trivia question in my next broadcast on Tuesday after tomorrow's Game 4. I will have another broadcast of Scott Sports 101 on Tuesday. Now, getting back to J.R. Smith really said that he did not score at all in Game 1 and Game 2, and I felt he scored really well. He had I believe 13 points last night. He scored off the bench, and I'm not quite sure, but I do. If I'm wrong, then I apologize. But I really think J.R. Smith played really well last night, and also along with Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance Jr. And Kevin Love contributed in a big way, and also Kyle Korver. They always have been in double. They were two of the players in double figures. So they really and they were two of the three. Kevin Love and Kyle Korver were two of the ones that also of the five guys that scored 3-pointers. Now I want to tell you, they've got to get the Cavs have to keep this momentum going. They've got to not let up. They've got to dominate from the get-go. They've got to just keep Boston from not getting back into the game. And even though Boston's a young team, they've been a surprise in the playoffs before. And I really, the Cavs will take. I'm confident that they're going to take tomorrow night's game. Whether or not it's a blowout, whether or not it's by 10 or 12 points. But I do feel that the Cavs are going to take tomorrow night's game, Game 4, at the Q of these Eastern Conference Finals. And Boston has to reevaluate themselves, and they got to look at their mistakes, because the Cavs really blew out Boston last night, and Boston just did not play well against the Cavs last night. And I'll tell you, they need to really, and I'm going to tell you this right now, they need to really step it up against the Cavs and really find a way to, if they want to win this series, even though they're a young team, they've got to find a way to really, they got to look at their mistakes and look at themselves and really correct what they did wrong and reevaluate themselves as well. So, but I'm still confident that the Cavs are going to take tomorrow night's game and Game 5 and Game 6 and win this series. Because I really think we're going to take Boston. I really think we can do it. That we are really going to take this series hands down by far. I also, head coach Tyronn Lue felt the Cavs played extremely well, and he, during his post-game conference, his press conference, he indicated that he felt that LeBron needs to have somebody else to really take the pressure off him on scoring and really help him out. And I agree with that. There's got to be somebody there to really help him score a lot more, to score a lot more points besides LeBron scoring a lot of points. Even though he scored 29 points in last night's game in Game 3 and 42 points in Game 2. You've got to have somebody to help you contribute, to really contribute. You really do. And that is the bottom line right there. Well, we're almost out of time. And I know I've been focusing on I'm focused right now on the NBA playoffs, and I will get back into baseball soon. And the Tribe, I know, will pick it up. And I know they did win 4-1 yesterday. I know they won. No, actually, excuse me, it was 5-2. Excuse me, they did win yesterday. It was 5-2 over I believe it was the Houston Astros. Yes, and they're playing the Houston Astros right now as we speak. And hopefully, I think they're going to pick it up as the season wears along. I mean, we're already into May, and we're almost at the end of May. So I think before that, I'd like to see them really move up in the Central Division and really get into first or second place before the All-Star break. And I really think they're going to pick it up. But the bullpen needs to step it up. The bullpen has been horrendous. You've got to step it up, bullpen. They need to really come out and not give up so many runs, and really just step it up if the starter cannot finish. Now, getting back to the NBA playoffs and the Eastern and Western Conference Finals, I just feel the Warriors are not the team that they once were, even though they're up 2-1. I still feel they're going to take it, but they're just not the team that they once were back in 2015. They're not as dominant as they once were, and they got to just step it up if they want to really have a chance. But it's going to be a tight series, though. Well, we're really, and I really feel, and even with the Cavs and Celtics, I feel that's going to be a good series too. Well, that's just about going to wrap it up for this edition of Scout Sports 101. Always remember, be a team player each and every day in every way possible. So long, everybody. 3, 2, 1. I'm done.